Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is May 20th, Monday evening, 7 p.m. And tonight I've got a really quick, well, I don't know how quick it'll be. I'm going to try to be quick, but an easy card design. Let's go with easy. An easy card design using the new Seaside Wishes bundle. So let's get started because it is a school night and I don't want to keep anybody too long. I'm going to flip my phone camera around. So, hey Nancy, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera around. So close your eyes because it gets a little bit bumpy when I do that. I don't have any fancy equipment, so I'm just using my iPhone in a stand. All right, so flipping over and you can see my workstation. All right, so tonight I am using the color wheel for a little bit of color theory on page 132 of the catalog, and I'm using Summer Splash, but I'm pairing it, I'm going to go triadic, so I'm going to pair it with Fresh Freesia. So let's see how that turns out. I've got all the pieces cut out and ready to go, and I am just going to refresh my laptop so I can make sure my camera's in good view and also catch any comments as they come in. Okay, so our pieces, a Summer Splash card base. That's, I have to think about it. I have to think about my size. I forgot. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and it's scored at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. And then for the inside layers, if you like to layer up your card like I do, I've got Lost Lagoon at 5 1/4 by 4, and then this is Basic Beige. And I think I can't quite remember, let me think. Oh, I went 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, so just a very small border. Now, Lost Lagoon and Summer Splash, according to the color wheel, are complementary colors, and I do think they go well together. So I'm just going to put these inside pieces off to the side. And for the front of the card, we've got 2 pieces of Lost Lagoon. This is 2 by 4, 2 pieces. And then Basic Beige again, this is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. So my layers are just 1/8 of an inch smaller. Okay, so before we get into the card front, I'm going to take this piece of Basic Beige and I'm going to use the Seaside Wishes hybrid embossing folder to cut out a couple sand dollars. So if you haven't got this set yet, it's currently sold out, but don't worry because it is going to come back in stock. It was just super popular when the catalog first came out. All right, so the trick with the hybrid embossing folders is that you want to put your die on the negative space. So that's where your embossing folder dents in a little bit, and you can tell you've got it right because it will literally, it almost snaps into place. So like so. So I can't really tell, but I've got it exactly where it needs to be and I can't move it around. It's just held into place. So my piece of paper is a little bit smaller, but I only want the smaller sand dollars, so I'm just going to turn it this way. And then run it through the embossing folder, and if you're new to embossing folders, make sure that you run it through the fold side first. It's easier on your embossing folder. Now, this machine is going to shake my camera, so I apologize. It's not an earthquake, it's my cut and emboss machine. All right, I'm going to get this out of the way. And I might save this little half sand dollar for something because that's pretty, I find them pretty handy. So we've got our 2 sand dollars cut out, and you can just see how, like, to me, these look so realistic. The hybrid embossing folder does such a good job. I'm just going to blend a little bit of color onto these sand dollars, and it's going to look even better than it already does. So I'm just going to make a little bit of space. And I cut these out of crumb cake, so I'll use the same color with the blending brush and just lightly add a bit more color onto that sand dollar. It's pretty subtle, but with your blending brush you can build your color as dark as you want it, but I like to start light first because you can always add more color, but once you've added it, you can't take it off, right? So when I'm blending, I pick up a little bit of ink, and I don't want it super dark on my sand dollars, so I start on a piece of scrap paper and then I color in. And that way I'm not going to get any super dark patches on the sand dollar. So it's pretty subtle, but it's made these little, the designs a little bit darker, and just add a little bit more color. Maybe I don't know if you'll be able to tell with my camera, but if I hold them up close, you can see that there is definitely a difference between the two. So I'll just do that, add a little bit more color to my second sand dollar. And you can even, if you like, you can roll the edges right in your ink pad as well. And I like to do that just for a little extra color. I think that looks really nice as well. But it's up to you, however you want to do it. Okay, sand dollars are ready. I'm just going to put those out of the way. And the rest of this card won't take too long. Oh, I need this actually. Okay, so on these two pieces of basic beige, these are 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. On one piece, I'm going to stamp a starfish design, and on this piece, I'm going to stamp the sand dollars. So we'll start with the starfish, and I'm going to use the fresh freesia and just randomly stamp on one piece of the basic beige. And you can stamp as many or as little as you want. It's totally up to you, however you like to do it. Sometimes I'm a little heavier on the stamping, sometimes a little lighter, whatever. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to take, my basic beige. And when you first stamp a sand dollar, basic beige on basic beige, it's almost a little bit greenish. It has a bit of a greenish hue, but that will dry and it will be more subtle. So as soon as you stamp it, it's just a little darker than you would expect, but it will dry. All right, so I only have room to stamp 3 partial sand dollars. And now what I want to do is add a little bit of texture with this small speckled stamp. So for the sand dollar one, I'm going to stamp the speckles in the fresh freesia, and then I'll do opposite on my starfish side. Okay, just like so, and I need my chamois so I can clean that off, and then I'll do the other one in the basic beige. And the beige is light enough that if you stamp on your sand dollar, or not sand dollar, sorry, on your starfish, it's not going to cover it up. Okay. And before I close my ink pads, I'm going to stamp on the inside of my card. So I like to do the corners. I tend to go with that for the inside of the card. And then I'm just going to add a starfish as well. Okay, so I'm done with the fresh freesia and I'm done with the basic beige. So let me get that out of the way. And before I put all these pieces together, What I'm gonna do is stamp my sentiment in the top right corner of my card front. So when you stamp right on your card front, I guess you're kind of at risk, right? If you mess it up, then you need to either cover it over with another layer or, well, I would just cover it over. So you just want to be careful if you're stamping right on your card front, because if you're not planning to cover it up or add more layers, then you just want to make sure that you're going to have a good crisp image off the get-go. So for the sentiment, I'm going to use basic, what is this? Yes, basic gray, which I think pairs very nicely with Summer Splash. Nailed it. See, no problems. It turned out, did I hold that up too high? I did. It turned out really well, actually. Okay, I do not need any more stamp pads. So now what we're gonna do, I'll move that out of the way, is we're gonna glue our layers together. And I'm gonna add a little bit of ribbon as well. All right, so I don't need very much because I'm not tying a bow with this ribbon. And I'm just gonna wrap it around the front, and then I'll use a little bit of tear and tape to hold it in place. Oh, losing my hair. All right, so tear and tape I just put on the back of that layer. I have a little more than I need, but that'll be okay. My nails are short. I should have pulled out my take your pick tool. Okay, so I'm just folding that ribbon edge over, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Looks pretty straight. And now I'm going to glue that down to one of my pieces of Lost Lagoon. Oh, that might be a little bit heavy on the glue. We'll see. We shall see. Man, yeah, when I have short nails, I can't pick up anything. I just trim them. Okay, so that piece is glued down. I'm just going to make sure it sticks well, especially where the ribbon is. And I'll do the same thing with this piece. Just like so. Man, my glue is really behaving tonight. It's going to be a good night. While I have the glue out, I might as well glue my inside layers. So I'll glue the basic beige layer onto the Lost Lagoon, and then I will glue that down to the inside of the card. I really love this new basic beige. I think I might like it even more than the white or the very vanilla. And it pairs really well with shades of blue and shades of brown. And I haven't tried any of the other colors yet, but I feel like it's going to go quite well with most colors. But I'm not a color expert. That's why the color theory on page 132 and 133 is going to be super handy this year. All right, inside of the card, just like that. And now I'm going to glue down one of our rectangles on the left hand side, and then I will pop up the other one. I think I'm going to just flip the starfish around. I like the ribbon closer to the middle of the card. Unless anybody watching has an opinion, but you only have a few seconds to tell me if you do, because I'm going to commit and glue this down. Okay, I'm committing. Perfect. Now, dimensionals for the other one, and it just slightly overlaps, so I don't want any dimensionals along this edge of the layer. So I just used my thumb as a guide when I flipped it over, so I know that I don't want any dimensionals past that middle point, or past that side, I should say. So I do use a lot of dimensionals, but I don't like it when the pieces that you have popped up, I don't like it when they sag. So I tend to be a little bit heavy when it comes to dimensionals. Okay. Now, this one goes right here, and I want to make sure that I'm not covering the sentiment. Perfect. In the corner, that's where I'm going to put these sand dollars. So I have to decide which way I want it to go. Let me think about it. I think I'm going to do just like that. So the larger one in the corner, and then I'm going to put the little one on top. So the big one, I'm going to pop it up, but just part of it, because it is going to rest a little bit on that piece that already is popped up. So I don't want it to be any higher than that piece. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue where I think that sand dollar is going to meet with this piece, this part of the card. And just I'll be a little bit careful with that, because if I squish that down, it's gonna flatten out my sand dollar, and it has a little bit of a natural curve to it after you run it through the embossing folder. So I want to be careful when I'm gluing it, because I don't want to flatten that out. Mind you, I mean, if you mail it, it very well could get flattened out, but I'm just mindful of that, because you'll see if you do get this hybrid embossing folder that the sand dollar does, it does definitely, it's not flat, right? Which makes it a little trickier if you're not using dimensionals. So this one, because I do need to glue it down, is going to be flatter than this one. But if I just bend the front of my card a little bit, while that glue is adhering, it pops back up. So I don't know if you can quite tell from this angle, but it's not flat. It still has that bit of a curve to it. So I'm almost done with this card. There's just one more thing I wanted to add. And that is a little bit of linen thread. It's probably enough. I think I've got enough. And I've just taken a pretty long piece of linen thread, and I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm sliding those two pieces underneath that ribbon, and I'm going to tie it in a double bow. And if you struggle with tying double bows, you could just tie it in a knot and it will look just as nice. And then once I have my bow, I don't know, I guess finagle. I finagle the ends of the twine, or the linen thread, sorry, until I have that bow, or at least the tails of the bow, sitting where I want them. And I've tied bows where I just can't get it right, and then I just untie them and I leave it in a knot, which looks just as good. Oh, I got glue on my scissors. All right, so that is it. I hope you guys like that. I do like these colors, but let me know what you think. If you're a fan of pairing Summer Splash with Lost Lagoon or not. And I have another sample I did using Pretty in Pink and Petunia Pot and the Sketch Butterflies bundle. And this was a card that was one of the make and takes Saturday at the Crafty Spring Social. So everybody who came got to make one of these cards and one of these cards as well, using the Seaside Wishes bundle again. And then there was 2 more make and takes, but unfortunately I didn't even grab a picture of them. Those were the ones that Tanya, the Canadian stamper, designed, and I never even thought to get a picture, but they were just as lovely. So that's it for tonight. Just a couple of things to tell you about before I end this video, but I'll flip the camera around and I will tell you what's coming up. Okay, so on Sunday, that is May 26th, 10 a.m., I will be posting a free online Country Flowers card class. It's free for anybody to join. I've designed the projects. Actually, I'll give you a sneak peek. Very quick, very quick sneak peek of the projects we'll be making. Make sure I'm holding them up right. And everything is designed, and I will be posting the measurements to the Facebook event probably tomorrow. I don't think I'll get around to it tonight, but tomorrow you can expect to see the measurements in the Facebook event. And for any of you in Canada, there's a bonus convenience package if you jump onto my online store and purchase yourself some goodies. Then you can earn all those card kits for free, and I will mail them out to you. But it's a little bit late to get them for Sunday, but if you do place an order, I will see it and I will ship you out those card kits, and you can catch the replay and craft along. So for anybody in Canada who places that $50 order in my store, then you will get 6 card kits. So 2 card kits per card design. So, and that will just be mailed to your door. So everything you need to make the cards, except you still need to add your stamps, your ink, your glue, and of course you'll need blocks and things like that. So all the essentials you'll still need to have. But if you have any questions, just shoot me a message or text me if you have my number, and I'll fill you in. And you can also read about it in the Facebook event, which I will post the link to in the comments of this page. And then the last thing I wanted to tell you about was in June, I will be doing a Seaside Wishes card class at home. This is new. It's a little bit different than the class I'll be doing on Sunday. So it's not a free class, but it'll be an online class. I'm just going to read it because it's brand new. I've never even offered this before, but these card classes at home are $45, and you will get $25 in product mailed to your door or dropped off by me if we don't live too far away from each other. The product is going to be paper, ribbon, embellishments, something consumable that you'll use in your crafts. You'll get 4 card kits for 4 different designs and a video tutorial for each card design, as well as a printable PDF with all of the instructions. So it does not come with the Seaside Wishes bundle. That is an optional add-on. And right now, the Seaside Wishes bundle, which is, I know this looks backwards right now from my camera view, but this, along with the hybrid embossing folder, it was super popular. So I'm dropping stuff. It was really popular, so it did sell out right away, but it will be back June 3rd, or hopefully sooner. So if you're interested in trying out my brand new card class at home, that's coming in June. The registration deadline will be June 1st, because I do need time to order products, get all the card kits prepped, and get them sent in the mail. And the day that I send them in the mail, no later than the 14th, will be the day that you get access to the video tutorials, and I will email you the printable PDF. So that's it for classes that are coming up at the end of this month, and mid-June there will be another free online class at the end of June, the last Sunday. I just haven't decided what stamp set I'll feature, and I think that's it. So thank you for watching live, and if you're catching me on a replay, either on Facebook or YouTube, please say hello, tell me where you're from, And I do appreciate that you take time out of your day to see what crafts I'm up to. So everybody have a really good night, and I will see you. Oh, I almost forgot. This Sunday, the card class, the free one, Country Flowers, it's not going to be a live video. I had a little bit of trouble with connectivity last Sunday, and I'm a little bit nervous to do a full class because it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm nervous to do a full class on a live in case we have some trouble. So I am going to pre-record the videos, and then I'm going to post the videos onto Facebook by 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to do them in chunks, so you don't have to like sit through a whole hour. You can do one card at a time, which will be, I think, a lot more convenient. Plus, I'll post it on YouTube, which sometimes it's easier to find videos and save them on YouTube. So that'll just be a little bit different for Sunday's free online class. I think I've talked enough, hey? Yeah, I've definitely talked enough. So I see some comments on my phone, but I didn't see them on my laptop. So Charlotte, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Nancy. And hello, Carolyn. I'm glad I know you love that stamp set. It'll be available soon, and then you can use it too. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all next Monday on my live.